So, I think it's the last pitch of today. I would like to talk a little bit about how we can help streamline offshore construction projects and O&M operations by using Shoreline software. First, I will take you through a little bit of history with the development of the industry. Offshore wind is extremely complex and complicated, whether you're talking about the construction phase or the O&M phase. There is a lot of different tasks to be done, which makes it, of course, very complicated and complex. The evolution of turbines, you probably know it already. A huge development over the last 20, 30 years. We now see turbines the size of the Eiffel Tower here in your beautiful city. The same goes with, of course, the tower and the blades and the weight. So it tells you a little bit about how complex the whole value chain gets, the transportation, the installation, everything related here to. Foundations, of course, has to follow. And now with the floating turbines, it will be interesting to see what kind of design will prevail. But you can see here the weights and sizes of those will only complicate the construction and installation phase more and more. The same goes, of course, with everything related here too. We have the installation vessels, the cranes, everything gets bigger and bigger. And that sets a huge toll on the ports as well, the depths, the capacity, everything. The wind farm sizes as well, grown significantly from just 10 years ago with TenneT, which was a big milestone back in 2010. We had a Danish Anholt of 400 megawatt in 13, the Gemini of the Dutch coast of 600 megawatt a few years later, the Triton Null of about 850 megawatt in 21, and now Dogger Bank with 1200 megawatt this year. And what we see of the upcoming projects in both Scotland, here in France, everywhere we see projects of 2, even 3 gigawatts. So they will take a huge size. So there will be a lot of coordination and complexity there as well. So the bigger and more complex it gets, the more important it is to increase the production and availability, of course, to streamline processes, to optimize the resourcing and scheduling, eliminate the last changes that might pop up, automating processes so people know what they have to do, and thereby gaining deeper insights into the operations. An example is just 24 extra production hours per year is equivalent to millions of euros. So it's a lot of money we are talking about. How has these processes been handled in the past? It's a lot of different tools, a lot of different spreadsheets, on-the-go decisions with no coordination, very simple apps, and very limited integrations. At Shoreline, we have a patented software where we can help in the design phase as well as the execution phase. And execution phase means when the projects go live. I'll concentrate on the design phase here. We have several customers that are using our tool to actually design and plan their installation and or O&M activities 10 years from now in projects that will hopefully happen. So if we take our design, it's split in two. We have the construction and we have the O&M. The design is giving you an intuitive project management interface. You can do case comparisons with specific dashboard views. You can customize the performance characteristics of your input, and it's a very powerful production forecasting tool that you can use to simulate with historical weather data dating back from 1979. So we have a cooperation with with the Copernicus database, which allow us to have downloaded weather data for every single possible offshore project in the world. So we know what kind of weather there has been for the last more than 40 years, and that gives a huge advantage in the forecasting. O&M, very similar. It's agent-based modeling. We have the weather downtime assessment that we can get out in reports. Again, customizable dashboards and reporting. A lot of our customers are using these tools up until help with the FID process to convince banks, investors, etc. that their project should be a go. So it's very advanced finance and production analytics we can get out, and it's a collaborative interface with a lot of different APIs that you can connect to your existing software systems. This is some pictures from the actual tool. You can model your wind farms wherever they are located. We can place the turbines for you, and then you can override them when you get the specific information from your wind and site department, so it gets as exact as possible. We can implement weather and transport constraints. You can schedule the maintenance modeling, the wind turbine modeling, all kinds of different assets. It's not only the turbine we model, it's also substations, it's cabling, it's different foundation types and floating as well. Yeah. You get very visual, helpful simulations, which enable you to see a specific expected timeline of the installation process, or the expected availability based on your input as well as the weather in that region. So what we see is being done is that when you have created your base case, then you will make iterations to your data and see what kind of result will you get with a different strategy. It could be choosing a different port. It could be choosing a different start date of your campaign, so you utilize the weather better and thereby utilize the vessels in a more optimal way. There's a lot of different parameters you can play around with to actually get as positive, as optimal strategy as possible. Different kind of dashboards that will help you select your strategy. It's very visually friendly, and you can use that, as I said, towards investors, towards bankers, and convince them that your project, that your campaign is the right place to go. Financial metrics as well, financial data that can be used. We have pretty much all the main players that are already using it on their existing projects, and it's not only developers, operators, it's also the O&Ms, it's the contractors, consultants, and universities. Our software was actually developed primarily from input from Ørsted, Vattenfall, Equinor, and Siemens, and we used that input to create the software because when they needed it, pretty much everybody in the industry needed it. That was our way of thinking. A small testimonial from Ørsted, who is our biggest client, and they are using it on all of their upcoming projects globally. So we are, of course, pretty proud about that. So the way we normally work is that we would be happy to give an online demonstration of our product, where we can show you how we can model with your specific project. And if you can see some value in that, we would be happy to give you absolutely free access for a couple of weeks, where you can model and simulate your own projects with the support of our engineers, of course. So just reach out to me if you want that. Okay, thank you.